Hello, everybody. I am very happy and very honored to be with you. I thank very much Dr. Robert Satalov, my dear friend, and his wonderful group. And this is wonderful to be in a virtual voice symposium from the Voice Foundation. As we know, we are dealing with a big problem all over the world, and this is coronavirus SARS-CoV-2. As we all know, this is a special member of the family that came to us in December from last year. And all over the world, through the droplets and the aerosol, it has been changing from person to person and country to country. And we are dealing with this aerosol problem. That's why in Mexico, we have this great lady, Susan, in the distance. That means we have to keep distance from each other because of the aerosol and the droplets are the best transmission for this virus. And everybody has been locked down, and in Mexico, we stay now at home because of this lockdown. As we know from the Wuhan group symptoms, we have mainly in the respiratory and in the voice situation, we are dealing with cough, shortness of breath, and sputum production. Of course, the general symptoms are also there, and the inflammation in other vital organs. The coagulation alterations have a lot of things to do with the people who has disease. We know that there are two enzymes, like you see here, ACE2 and TMPRSS2, that are helping the SARS-CoV-2 to come into our system and into our body. We also have olfactory absence because, as many scientists have already made research, that the nose has a lot of viral load, and that's why we have olfactory absence, of course, taste abnormalities, runny nose, nasal timbre, sometimes sore throat, sometimes slight dysphonia, and many times dry cough, and in the severe cases, dyspnea. In some of the cases, because of the epithelial lining of intestine with ACE2, we have also diarrhea. The tests nowadays are the RT-PCR assays that are recommended for diagnosis. As we know, there are many tests about this, but we are dealing only with this at the moment. Of course, there is also antigen test that has been developing in different countries, but now I want to focus on immunity test, IgG, through ELISA or through ECLIA, mainly to test S1 and the nucleocapsid protein, because we are going to need this in the future to understand what are we going to do, because we don't have any treatment and we do not have any vaccine. And what is the problem in the singers? We need to follow up them with the general symptoms and with the general immunity test. As we know, we can have during our SARS-CoV-2 inflammation, we can have watery and itching eyes, but also nose and throat inflammation that bring us to throat cleaning, and the mucus can be thick, and that brings us also to inflammation of vocal folds. And the inflammation in vocal folds with dry cough and shortness of breath do have a lot of things to do with a problem in the vocal folds. So we are going to see after this lockdown many complications of the vocal folds in this kind of patients. How can we prevent some of the damages of the SARS-CoV-2? Well, with the humid nostrils, through nebulizer, glycerin, avoid strong substances for the nose, mainly sanitizers. And also we can prevent some sinuses problems through the control of allergies in our patients with respiratory allergies, also using nebulizer to have a proper situation of the humidity, antihistamines, and resonance exercises. And of course, our main organ is the larynx with dryness, inflammation, mucus, and edema. But we cannot forget that through the dry cough, we can also have bleeding signs or hematomas. What can we do during our lockdown routine? Hydration through nebulizer with water, exercises, mainly cardiovascular exercises, for example, dance, and also we need to have an emotional stability and avoid digestive problems, because as we know, there are several factors that can harm our dear vocal folds. So we have to control our food irritants to avoid reflux and also take care about our weight. And what can we do in our lockdown situation? And after that, have purifier with a HEPA filter, because we need that in the cars, houses, and theaters to bring the general particles load down. During our lockdown, we can have singing exercises after 15 minutes of cardiovascular exercises, for example, warm-ups, drills, scales, resonant exercises, semi-occluded exercises, anterior consonant exercises, and glissando. And after that, we need to sing, because it is advisable not to stop singing. Only if we have some problems, we can stop singing. Otherwise, the singers have to vocalize, have to warm up, and have to sing. On the stage after lockdown, we are having more problems because of the droplets and the aerosols, but also we are dealing with house dust mite allergens, as you see here, with heavy dust, and also with oil smoke and tobacco smoke. And what happens with the viruses? The viruses is around here, and it's going to be on stage if there are persons who have SARS-CoV-2. So the environment of the stage, through droplets, saliva, smokes, air conditioning system, temperature, and dressing rooms, is going to be a very, very difficult situation in order to avoid spread of the SARS-CoV-2. Of course, there are cleaning products. We can purify dust and mites. We can have sanitization of textiles, of tapestry. We can dry sweep. But the main risk for the artist on stage are the droplets and the aerosol. We cannot sanitize the air system. And there can be also airways hypersensitivity. Also, the artist can have a weak immune system, and the overload in outdoor and indoor pollution can be a big problem. So we have to prevent the spread of SARS-CoV-2 through the different ways of avoiding that, and to prevent the infection with our daily system. But we cannot forget the persistence of the droplets and the aerosol also on the auditorium and also on stage. So we have to improve our systems. And as conclusion, how are we going to deal with aerosol on stage? There are many things that we have to take care about. In SARS-CoV-2 time, without vaccine and specific treatment, it is compulsory to diminish body overload. So good eating habits, avoid adverse emotional factors, good sleeping, cardiovascular exercise, and no smoking. Each singer has responsibilities for her or his personal health, for indoor pollution, and taking care of stage environment. That means with producer and director. Health and technique are the main tools for maintaining a good singing voice mechanism. But as we know, the airway system is the main system for voice production, for singing production. So please take care, and we'll see what can we do and how can we solve not only vaccine and treatment for SARS-CoV-2, but also to think about with ventilation and proper air conditioning system, and take care and enjoy virtual voice symposium with our dear Voice Foundation and his great group and our dearest Dr. Satalo. Many greetings from Mexico. Bye.